How come your flame is bigger than mine? How come you've always got the biggest flame?
That's what she said.
Oh, tick-tock, it's time to rock.
You didn't tell me I needed a flame thumb going.
Oh, my gosh, it's a midweek special. But this one is even more midweeky special. This one here is a takeover, Brad. We don't often get guests on the midweek specials, do we, brother?
No, so this is we're taking over. It's Kurt's show. We're just sitting here for the ride.
Last time I joined your guys' midweek show, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it took me like 2 days to recover. So this one, these fine young gentlemen met me halfway, and it's 8 o'clock my time, and it's before noon their time. We won't say why we can do it, but it worked out good.
Yeah. Well, look, at the end of the day, bro, one of the great things we keep saying it, isn't it? It's about the social media that we use. It means that we can take advantage of any situation that gives us time, and we certainly have a little bit of that. Brad's got a bit of time. It looks like I'm going to have 4 weeks of time, so we can squeeze in something with the Rev Voice. A pleasure. Looking forward to this special, though. Even though we don't tend to script a lot of the midweek shows, which is true, and Brad will back me up on that, this one's not scripted at all. We just got a bit of an idea, guys. So the Rev's going to talk to us about what he's been up to, where he's going, because Brad and we can't go anywhere. So there's only one guy tasting freedom here, and that's the Rev. So he's going to talk about that. We've got some tech and tone tips. And then we're going to find out why balance matters.
Yeah. 26 years ago, I was 17 years old when balance came out. If the math's right. So now you guys know how old I am. But what an amazing time. Just imagine back to when you were 17. What was inspiring you, what was influencing you, what was running your, I guess, life other than women. Like music was definitely one of them. Yeah. So it's a lot of you guys know my story on Van Halen, but this one is very special to me just because I think when albums come out at that age, when you're 16, 17 years old, they're very impactful. And I've always been a huge Van Halen fan since I was like 7 years old. So this was the first time I was able to actually see him live. So there's like a ton of reasons on why this is, I'll call it a pinnacle part of my Van Halen history for sure. Because, I've seen him 6 or 7 times, but this one really stands out as special. I showed you guys some of the pictures I did in art class in high school. They're all kind of based around that balance era. Brad, I know, prior to balance, the From Lawful era is really special to him, but I know this one's right up there with him. Yep. And Andrew too, you have special memories with this era and this album. So we figured we'd revisit it, and it just gives us another reason to talk about the stuff we love.
Yeah. Well, I remember when Balance first came out, and it felt like part 2 of Carnal Knowledge for me. That's, I heard Seven Seal, the way it came in. I was like, man, we're on, the first time I heard that, I was like, wow, we're on a good ride here. This is going to be awesome. And, as the years have gone by, it's been one of the regular sort of go-to Van Halen albums for me. I've always put it on over other ones just because I love the sound. It's probably one of the best drum sounds on a Van Halen record to me, and I love the resonance in Ed's tone. The bass, Michealanthony's bass tone is massive on it, and Sammy's just singing so well on it. It's just a great. I love that era of Van Halen. Full stop. It's fantastic.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's like I remember the first time I heard Judgment Day.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of like Seventh Seal was like 2.0 of Judgment Day, right? The B side of Judgment Day, or part 2 of Judgment Day for me, kind of,
Yep. Yeah. Look, I know, there's probably, a lot of people that are, especially the diehard Roth fans, weren't gravitating to this record very much, but for me, it's a wonderful time for the band. Like musically, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in here, bro, and say, I think the diehard Van Halen fans or the Roth fans, that make a demarcation between the two eras and dogmatically approach Van Halen from one era, good luck to them. Good luck to them. If they want to, experience music one-dimensionally, that's fine. I'm not going to get too philosophical or too political here, but I think what you have to understand with Eddie Van Halen, and certainly now with him passing, and I'm sure the Rev and Brad and we're going to talk about this for a little while after I make this. It's a progression of music, and Eddie himself, in many, many interviews, in many, many articles, talks about the fact that he was always looking for the next thing. He was always looking for the opportunity to move forward. So if you've got any respect and love Eddie Van Halen for what he's achieved as a musician and a guitar player, well, you've got to go back and renegotiate any hatred that you had for that part of the band and get with the agenda.
Yeah, and in America, I can reference it as cars, but there's more than one style of Corvette, and there's more than one style of Mustangs, and more than 1 year of Mustangs, and more than 1 year of Corvettes. And I consider Van Halen the same thing. Different years, different styles, different variations, different pros, different cons.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, and Ed was big in Guitar World magazine at that particular time. That he's quite heavily states, and I think I mentioned this in another episode on Balance, that he was not a big fan of his sound in the early Van Halen era, especially on Van Halen 1. He evolved, is what I'm getting at, and what he got to with Balance, it was perfect for him at the particular time, sound-wise. That's what he was after. So any musician's going to evolve. I mean, even people say, bands like AC/DC, they stuck to their sound and that, but they didn't quite stick to their sound. If you listen to their first couple of records with Bon Scott and then listen to their last couple, even Back in Black, their sound changed a little bit. So they did progress. They wrote similar music, but they progressed. And I think that's with, Van Halen, especially with Ed writing a lot of the music, of course he's going to evolve as a musician.
Yeah, and real quick before we start really deep diving into everything nerdy and crazy, Andrew, you want me to do a quick roll call? All right. In first, he was in early and got the first seat in the house, Keith Campbell. Keith, thanks, buddy, for joining. All the way from Brazil, we got Teresa in here as well. Thank you, Teresa. Our show marketing guru and artist extraordinaire, Cobra Kai Platoon. Thank you for joining, Cobra Kai. Yeah, the man. And Cobra Kai, I don't expect miracles or don't want to ask you for any favors, but we've had like 5 or 6 people ask about the May the Tone Be With You shirt. I know it's kind of a show shirt, but I have a bunch of people wanting them, so you and I should talk about maybe having them available. Of course, we got Hobo Roadie in here as well. Thank you, Hobo. Mark Tanner, as always. Mark, thanks for the loyalty and always being on. Tim Thomas, thanks, Tim. And then another family member who was a guest on our show last week, Simon Hosford, all the way from Australia, another Aussie brother in the house. Simon, thanks for joining. And then anyone else who I may have missed or who hasn't checked in the chat that's lurking from afar, we can see you, but we won't call you out.
Awesome. So I've got a couple of questions that I'm going to fire through to the Rev and Brad in preparation for the balance show. We're going to do that. We have to do that, guys. If you're not aware of what happened, we managed to get the Rev onto the 5150 show about 8 months ago, I think. It was about 8 months ago. We saw him, we grabbed him, we lassoed him. Brad said, "You got to get this guy. Well, if you don't get this guy, I'm out of here." So we got him, and the Rev is here because we're great talent spotters on this show. We got him. So we were just talking about some of the shows, guys, that we've done, and it just dawned on Brad and I that we didn't do a balance show with the Rev. So for us to have any kind of Van Halen credibility, we've got to go back and get the Rev's rankings. And that's great because that's going to give Brad and I, again, an opportunity to reflect on what we did in the past in recognition of what's happened in the future and, obviously with picking up on a few things and comfortably being schooled by the Rev for the last 8 months. What do you reckon, Brad? What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, I have to say I can honestly say now I can pronounce Ethereum properly because of that.
That's number one priority.
Oh, yeah, we got ripped apart by the Rev
priority.
For that one. Andrew and I, we copped it, mate. We copped it left, right, and center.
Ethereum.
Yes.
You beat me to it.
Yeah. No, we're looking forward to it. Yeah. We've got a few shows, a couple of cool shows planned. We've got the Right Here, Right Now show coming up, which is going to be really, really great. I'm looking forward to that. That's a special DVD for Brad as well. If you guys aren't already aware of that, I'm going to let a couple of cats out of the bag. That was one that hooked Brad, and for good reason. So he's going to tell us why. When we do that show. But in the meantime, the Rev's going to tell us what he's been up to, where he's been, and where he's going. Oh my gosh!
Well, just
we got 3 hours. We got 3 hours for that.
Yeah, today I'm in a business meeting for my second job. My first job is this show, and my second job is what I do for a living. And I'm in a conference room with 3 other people. And I work in the public sector in the United States, so I deal with like cities, counties, public transportation, things like that. And I open my bag, which is like a shoulder briefcase that I keep right here in my desk because I work. My office is right here where you guys see, the background. And I pull out this pamphlet and I open it up, and out flips out onto the table right in front of the person that I'm talking to. Is a Eddie Van Halen pick. Super embarrassing. Flops out on the ground. And he's like, "Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's a guitar pick. Probably fell off my desk into my bag." So I got to sit in here. It's kind of funny that that happened today at work. I was embarrassed. But yeah. Anyway, tomorrow, my daughters bought me tickets to a concert in Spokane, Washington, which is 3.5 hours east of where I live. And one of my, I would say, second favorite bands is Collective Soul, who actually toured with Van Halen in 95, right? During the Balanced era. I'm going to see them on Friday tomorrow night with Better Than Ezra. If you guys are familiar with them,
Yep.
And Tonic, who Caleb Rappaport from Nerd Halen was their touring manager, or some sort of behind the house manager of Tonic. So I'm excited to go spend some time with my two daughters. We're going to get a hotel. We'll probably go grab something to eat, watch the concert, stay the night, and then I'll be coming home on Saturday. But yeah, I'm excited for that.
Oh.
And this will be the sixth time I've seen Collective Soul live. So
we're happy for you, Kurt, but we're a little bit jealous as well, mate. But have a great night.
I will, and it's kind of cool that my girls, they grew up with me listening to that music, and obviously, if Van Halen was still touring, they would try to buy me tickets to that as well. But for some reason, they really like the Collective Soul music, so they surprised me on Father's Day with that gift. And my wife's going to stay home with my son, and it'll just be me and the girls. And probably most of the time in the crowd, I will be staring at dudes, pushing dudes, breaking dudes' wrists. If they look at my girls the wrong way, or if they even sneeze in the right direction, they're going to get pushed down on the ground and get stepped on by me. Because I got a 22-year-old daughter, and then my 16-year-old looks like she's 21.
The protective dad comes out.
Yeah. I need to take Brad with me as my quote unquote gun hand.
Come on, mate. I'm sure you can hold your own. We've seen you with your shirt off, bro.
Don't even get him started, please.
Good stuff, man. That's excellent. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. And then if you guys didn't check me out yesterday, I did a quick appearance with Rob Johnson yesterday on his channel. I'll put
the link to that show, bro, in the chat now for everyone. So if you just want to just continue with that. Sorry for interrupting, but I'll put that link in now.
No, you're good. I got to spend about 2 hours with Rob yesterday down in, we're going to call it now the Van Halen Museum. Cobra Kai Platoon and Simon Hosford, if you're still in here. I don't think Simon had seen Rob's collection, but on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you guys rank Rob's guitar collection, if they're still in here? But yeah, I spent 2 hours on the show with him, and we just kind of updated. I showed my Bumblebee, showed my Wolfgang. He showed his Dragon Snake. He showed his new purple Ernieballmusicman that he had. He showed his mini Les Paul. And then we just kind of geeked out and talked about everything Van Halen. So it was cool, Rob, to allow me to jump on his show. And, of course, to promote our show on his channel is always good, because Rob has a lot of followers. And Brad and Andrew and I and Simon's goal is to get 1,000 followers by January. And we're going to try to do whatever we can to get there. So Simon says it was ridiculous. And then Cobra Kai says 1 out of 10, it's 1,000.
It's pretty amazing.
Oh,
it's pretty amazing, his collection, man. It's outrageous. Like, it's like any Van Halen nut's dream to walk into a room like that. I've only got one thing to say, Kurt.
Yeah.
Bleach Ethereum.
That should be the ringtone when I call you on your phone.
Well, I think I'm going to set it as a ringtone for you.
Mm-hmm. Or any notifications.
Over and over. Guys, yeah. That's the message we got from Kurt when we did the last balance show.
Yeah.
He was not happy with our pronunciation of it, so we had to get embedded in our brains.
Right. So anyway, I had a fun time with Rob. It was cool hanging out with him and seeing his insane collection. He always tells me, and I've heard this come out of his mouth probably 6 or 7 times, I'm done. I'm not getting another guitar. I'm good. This is it. And Andrew, I mean, how many times has he got something different in the last 2 years? You know?
one of the great things about Rob, that we have to give credit to is that he's, a diehard. He's a 1 in a million kind of fan, and fans recognise that in the hierarchy of things because reality states that we're not all the same. We're not all the same level of Van Halen fans, and that's the great thing about our community, Brad and the Rev. That you've got cats who just love the music, and that's fine. And then you've got guys like Rev who knows the dates and the articles and what magazine it was printed in, and then what age strings Eddie was using on this guitar, and then you get Brad down here who can play Jump in Panama and the intro to Seventh Seal, and that's the great thing about Van Halen fans. But I've got to tell you guys seriously, Rob Johnson is standalone. He is somewhere else, isn't he?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, he plays guitar. He collects guitars. He's a luthier, so he's built some of them over the years. I think he's to the point where a lot of the stuff he'll outsource now, but he's just a genuine nice guy more than anything, and that's what I appreciate about him is that he's genuine, and I would call him a friend or a brother because he's a cool dude.
Yeah. I'm halfway through the episode.
And I've learned a lot. Oh, sorry, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's a good episode, Brad. We go through quite a bit, and it just gets more geekier and geekier as we get through. So, thanks for watching.
No, I'm halfway through it. I missed it live because you guys, your time zones all mucked up compared to mine here in Australia. Why can't you just be on the same time zone as me? I'm greedy and I want things my way. That's how it should be. So
I'm working on that.
What's really strange about a lot of the channels that I follow, and I'm glad you brought that up, Brad, because I want to ask you other guys this, because I subbed to his channel. I've hit the notifications button, and I got no notification that he was going live. So do you guys notice that on some of the channels that you follow that you don't get notifications? Am I the only one?
Rob's technical savviness is a 1 out of 10. And he didn't preload the show. We built the show basically 15 minutes before we went live, and not to call him out, but he jumped on to Streamlabs instead of StreamYard, and I had to get on him and help him out. So he doesn't do very many shows very often, so it wasn't preloaded into YouTube. So it wasn't you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, the good thing about it, though. Oh, yeah, good. I'm glad. But again, while we're on that, and I'm sorry for interrupting, Brad, is that if anyone wants us to share any of your social media links on our show, we'll do that. Just fire them through to me, the Rev or Brad, and we'll get them on here because we're about sharing. Sorry, bro.
All good. Yeah, no. Thanks everyone for joining us. Who have we got in the chat there, guys? I'm just trying to pull my chat up.
Yeah, outside of who I already called out, I think Dogpaw has joined. Wolf. Johnny Bean, and Jimmy Ray Hawkins, and Quentin James as well.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, Andrew, I see you got a envelope back behind you. Do you want to do that right now before we?
Yeah.
And Brian Spalding just jumped in too. Thanks, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Awesome, Brian. Nice to see you guys. So, how many weeks ago did you send this, bro? Can you tell me? I can't remember. It was a while ago.
July 21st.
Okay, so July, so that's a few weeks away. So we got this
just shy of a month.
Post, about 2 hours ago. So always humbled, always chuffed to get something from the Rev. So I'm going to open this up, guys, and quickly flick through with you what's in here. So just give me a second while I rip it open because
You
I've got
should
fat
present
fingers.
yourself. But I've figured out now that when something gets sent to Brad or Andrew, they duct tape it to the tail of a two-toed sloth and put it on a on a skateboard, and it heads over to their side of the world. It takes forever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, hold on, guys. So I'm just going to flick through here.
I think I could.
try this one.
Brad, I
Yeah,
could probably swim to Australia faster.
Probably.
Hold on, I'll just get rid of that banner.
I could swim to New Zealand faster.
Yeah.
There's some big sharks though, man. You know, bit scary.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
they
So
don't care.
first thing to. Oh my gosh, here we go, guys. We have an EVH sticker.
Woo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I have a EVH signature, and look at that. Oh my gosh, that's going on my 5150.
Pull the white one out. Real
I better
quick.
pull it out then. Okay.
Yeah.
When
I'm
you get
talking
to
about the
it,
pick.
pull it out.
Pull the pick
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
That's what she said.
Okay.
There you go.
Ah!
Woo.
Oh, look at that.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh. I might have to go on the Fruitcake Tony show.
I know. You need to pick. You need to pick, Cam.
There's Eddie.
Yeah, beautiful.
There's Ed there.
Oh, were there 3 in there?
There's Eddie there.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what I sent you. Did you have any of those, Andrew?
There's $300 here in cash. I can't show that. Sorry. I think you sent that to the wrong person.
It's Monopoly money.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Thank you, brother. Look at that.
5150
Yeah.
picks.
Oh! It gets better. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet.
Sick.
I'm not going to use those, bro. They're just going to go in my case.
Oh, come on.
No!
Come on.
I'm not. No, I'm going to. They go in my case, bro. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Guitar player, the Beatles.
That's a great magazine. Have you seen that one, Brad?
I haven't. No.
It's all about their gear. So there's a bunch of really good photos of their guitars. The Rosewood Telly, the Casino, the Les Paul, Paul McCartney's. What's the bass he plays? There's some great gear picks in there that you'll love, Andrew.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. I just got to get a pic of the Casino. Can't show. There's the Casino there.
Oh, yes.
I think there's another one in there too of the Casino. So I subscribed to that magazine. So I thumbed through it and read it, but I figured Andrew would appreciate it more than I would. So I sent it his way. That was what I originally was supposed to send him.
That's a wonderful gift. I think we've lost Andrew. Andrew, you there, buddy?
Oh, Nate, you've. Something else. You've definitely lost me now.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Okay, go to page 144.
Look, Kurt even knows the pages.
144. Hold on. See, we told you. We told 140. 140. Oh!
Yeah. How about 140?
So I love how you know the page numbers.
Unfortunately, I think it's been ripped and
No, has it really?
It's stuck together, isn't it?
yeah. No.
Did you go? Is that 140?
Brother. Oh.
How about page 4? How about page 14?
Yeah, that's 140.
There's some good pictures. This is an actual book. It's not a magazine.
Hold on.
Yeah. Oh,
145 pages.
Wow.
Oh.
Go to page 40. Oh yeah, nice.
Page 40. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Here's the shark. Here's the shark, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there's some cool pics in there.
Hold on, bro. I'll just de-present myself. I'm just going to jump in the chat and see what people are saying. Guitar porn, absolutely. Oh, bro, thank you very much. I'm going to be in lockdown. I've just looked on the news. So we're in lockdown till Tuesday. We were originally in lockdown for 3 days, in Auckland for 7 days. So they've extended us to Tuesday. So I don't have a lot to do. I might be doing a few shows, but I'll be definitely going through that and this in preparation for the Let It Be movie that's coming out soon, guys. So if the Rev wants to participate on any of those shows, because we know that the Rev is a music fan, guys, believe it or not. He listens to other music besides Van Halen and Collective Soul, but he's a Beatles nut as well. So we might even have the Rev on that Beatles show, bro. I'm always chuffed and humbled by your gratitude. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, you couldn't have come at a better time. Anything to up your spirits and give you something to make time pass by. Yeah, those 5150 pics are sweet.
Oh, they're going in my special little 5150 tin.
You better open those up and use them.
Oh, I might just look at them. I like looking at things.
Yeah. That's what she said.
You don't have to use everything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just things we are sometimes are a lot more special to us than maybe the normal human. I knew Andrew would get a kick out of some of that stuff. I told him I said, Andrew, I'm going to send you this Beatles magazine if you want it. He says, yeah. And to send something like that, it's quite a bit of money. So I figured I would make it worthwhile and I'd throw some other stuff in there to surprise him. So I didn't tell him what was in there, but yeah.
No, appreciate it, bro. It's always a pleasure, and you've been spoiling your other co-hosts here on the 5150 show the last couple of weeks. But seriously, we never expect it, but it's always nice to get these things, and that's one of the great things about our show is that we do things like this for each other, So we appreciate it, and. If we can help anybody else that watches our show with helping you guys get a presence in your social media accounts, that's the least we can do. And if you can share our channel and what we do, with our social media accounts on the bottom there, you'll see them. You can see Brad's Instagram, the Rev. Those two guys are on Instagram regularly. If you want to keep updates on what they're doing with other stuff, but also with this channel, that's the place to be. Brad takes you for nature walks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's zen.
I've been posting a little bit of playing stuff just to kill time, which is kind of fun. Yeah, pretty good. But yeah,
so,
I get out and walk on Pasadena.
So
Right.
I've got a couple of questions I just want to throw to you guys about balance, if that's okay. Just kind of like I said in preparation to the show. So when and I know that you were a young cat too, Brad, when this album came out. So I've got this question's for both of you guys.
He's younger than me.
No, I'm not. Shh.
Sorry.
I'm trying my online presence and persona as a young dude, you know. So you gotta watch this.
Yeah, you know how over time Balance has received a reputation for being darker themed than previous Van Halen albums, whatever that means. But certainly serious. I would say some of the themes, some of the topics, the mood was what I like to use the word serious. Did you guys understand this? I'm going to start, and if the Rev wants to answer the question first, and then we can pass it on to Brad. Did you guys understand at the time that you were listening to a serious album as opposed to what you'd heard previously? Was that something that you were consciously aware of, or was it something that you picked up on over time after the album had come out?
Well, I put the two and two together. As you guys know, I picked up and tried to read all the magazines that came out all throughout growing up. You know, I used to go to the grocery store with my mom once a month just so I could check out the latest and greatest magazines, and I would try to slide it in the shopping cart to see if she would buy it. But think about, for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, we had Pound Cake, we had Spanked, we had just some of those songs that were a little bit more still kind of partying, talking about women and some of these other things. And with Balance, we all knew that Eddie was clean. You know, he had shaved his head, he had a goatee, he was sober. They didn't really have any of those songs other than Amsterdam and Big Fat Money, I would say, are probably the only two that I would relay to that channel of party type loose songs. So I really wouldn't say it was dark. I would just say it's mature, if that makes sense to you guys. So I looked at that as it was just another chapter in their life. The band was becoming mature, and it was just a different spin. And we all know that every album they ever did was all different than the next. So it wasn't like night or day for me. It was just another Van Halen album with a different personality, we'll call it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I just shared in the chat a Guitar World magazine interview.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember buying the magazine when it came out. I've still got it. And that when you read that, like at the same time as what Kurt was alluding to, I was heavily looking at magazines and everything at the time. I purchased that guitar magazine, and I read it when it was relevant. So you could tell that they were in a more serious sort of spot in their lives as songwriters. I mean, Eddie's quite clear in it if you read it that they're actually writing songs in this particular album, and not to knock what they did in the past, but he was just, he's not knocking it is what I'm saying. He's just alluding to the fact that they evolved. And, I kind of really admire that in artists when they evolve. I think it's imperative that an artist should move forward in any way, shape or form that's authentic to them. So to answer your question, Andrew, I think, Carnal Knowledge seemed a little bit more serious to me than even 5150. It had an OU812. It had a little bit more serious, there are party vibes on it, but they seemed a little bit more serious. I think I was talking to Simon Hosford about this on the phone. I see Carnal Knowledge as being like the Sammy era Fairwarning, and then like Balance is like part two of that for me. It's like an extension of Carnal Knowledge. They're like volume 1 and 2 for me. So I mean that is a really good explanation from my point of view. That's how I see it anyway. Andrew, I mean, look, you've you've asked us the question. How do you see it?
Well, I'm a little bit like you guys too, because I'm glad that you brought up the other albums, because clearly there is a progression, and of course, and I know it becomes a cliche sometimes, but we can see it clearly with Van Halen, especially with the Sammy years too, because 5150, as you said, bro, is a party album. There's no doubt about it. 5150 is that party album. It's that vibe. Then you've got OU812, which is again, the single is a little bit different, a little bit serious there, and then you've got Carnal Knowledge, which is, like you said, guys, it's got those party songs, but it's got the serious songs there, asking some philosophical questions like, what are you doing right now? What are you going to be right now in 50 years' time? It kind of blew me away. And I think we discussed this a little bit with the Steve Anderson when he was on here, but we didn't fully go back and discuss it. And I look forward to talking more about this with the Rev and Brad on later shows, because it's a great question. And again, it's a smart question. And it just goes to show that these guys in this band that we love weren't just great lyricists and great musicians. They were great thinkers, Brad and Rev. They were thinking about shit, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
100%. 100%. And lyrically, there's some what people would call cheesier style lyrics, but I also believe there's a time and place where Sammy would pull it up and be serious if the music had a serious energy to him. So that's, that any songwriter will do that. If it's got a party vibe, they're going to instantly try and come up with something that's a little bit lighthearted. But if it's got a darker vibe or energy to the music, a lyricist will, unintentionally start writing something a little bit serious.
Yeah.
And
Keith Campbell makes a good point here. He says the tunes are Mine Oh Mine Part 2. I would say Seventh Seal is almost like the next part of Mine Oh Mine.
Oh, yeah.
When
I've
you
never
think
really
about
looked at it that way, yeah.
what you're talking about, yeah. Judgment Day, Dream is Over. Those are deeper subjects that get passed over on Forunlawful Carnal Knowledge that I think they visit a lot in Balance.
There's a lot of great tracks on Balance as well that were a little bit different for them than anything they'd done before, like Feeling and Not Enough. Those sort of things to me were a little bit different for the band. It was great to hear Ed, playing piano a little bit more and things like Not Enough. That's one of my all-time favorite Van Halen songs. It's got one of my all-time favorite solos in it from Ed. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. And it's
Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do was actually I'm not sure exactly what word I'm trying to think of here, but we all know that song was written around Kurt Cobain's suicide or his death, with the cultural piece in that time of that era of music. I don't think Van Halen really had done anything that was relevant to something that really happened in culture.
Yeah.
Good point. And they were also critical too of capitalism. Well, certainly what you did with a lot of money as well. Whether or not that was a reflection on what the record companies were doing, we don't know. That's open to interpretation. Maybe not a criticism of capitalism, but certainly a criticism of greed to a degree. So these are all deep. And guess what? Topical themes today. So do yourself a favor, guys. Go and listen to Balance, and then you'll get the answers to half the questions that's facing you today.
All right, I got a question for you guys. Obviously, we're not doing a deep dive into ranking tracks or anything like that, but on your next listen of Balance, have a good listen to what song is it? Aftershock, and tell me what your thoughts are on that, because that song has rapidly become one of my favorites now. It was something that I overlooked a lot when I first got the album. And my recent listen to it, I was like, wow, man, that song, there's something really quite intense about that song. Ed's playing on it's great.
Flanger.
The flanger effect in it sort of takes you back a little bit to the earlier era of Van Halen, but there's a lot of depth to that. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I agree. That song's awesome. They didn't play it live in the show that I watched, which sucks because I would have loved to have seen it live. But did they play it? They played it on the David Letterman show, right?
Aftershock. I'm not sure about Aftershock.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, I think it was Not Enough, and then it was Aftershock, wasn't it?
Someone in the chat might be able to confirm that.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
95% sure it is.
I'm pretty sure, actually, Kurt. Yeah, you're right. Because I remember seeing. I remember
Great
sharing
song, Brad. Like literally, that's the dark horse of the album.
Yeah, man. There's some great playing in that song, and I'm gonna at some point sit and attempt to learn it. It's fabulous.
And I was showing Andrew this in the green room.
Hold on, brother. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. The CDs, and then I got the Japanese version with the single kid versus the double. Crossing Over. I truly believe that if they would have put Crossing Over in instead of Strung Out, and I know Strung Out was kind of a joke and what Eddie wanted to throw on the album, but I think if they would have put Crossing Over instead of Strung Out, this album would have been bigger than it is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Crossing Over needed to be on that album. What's interesting, you got that album there in front of you, guys, or maybe you've got it on spot. So how long is that album? It's one of their longest albums, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know where you find that.
I'll tell you. I'm trying to pull it up on my. I'll tell you. It's 53 minutes 18.
Oh, and I agree with Keith. 3 songs: Aftershock, Amsterdam, Can't Stop Loving You. Just, yeah. And then Crossing Over. I agree with you, Rev. I think if they'd put that on there, and got rid of Strung Out, which is an unusual song, isn't it? It's an unusual song.
Do you know the Easter egg on the back of this album?
Hold on.
Present me. So here's the second pressing of this. This is actually a BMG version. But look right here. Okay, now I'm going to show you the Japanese version. What do you see?
Wow.
It's a can of Coke. A can of Coke. That was Van Halen's way of kind of giving the middle finger to Pepsi due to the Right Now thing with crystal clear Pepsi.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So I know what you're talking about, but I didn't know that was actually on there. That's great.
So check your vinyl to see if there you go. Check your vinyl, Andrew, to see if the Coke can's in the corner. And Brad, if you have the CD, check to see if it does. The first pressings had the Coke can, but the second ones didn't. That's kind of. I probably should have saved that for the show.
No, man, it's so cool. I'm gonna have a check. I've got my my CDs packed away at the moment, but I've definitely got them.
I think yours is in your car, isn't it?
Andrew's in his car. Andrew's got his in the car.
But as Andrew's looking, a little bit of backdrop on this album. Like I said, I was 17 years old. This thing came out on January 24th, which in the United States, Brad, albums came out on Tuesday.
Yep.
So when big albums like this came out, we would skip school and go to the record store and purchase it and then drive around all day and listen to the music and go to Taco Bell or Subway or whatever, fast food was available. But the Saturday before this was released, my best friend was having a party at his house. His parents were gone. So I want to say it was January 21st. On the radio, they played the album from start to finish. And
Wow.
this party probably had 50 to 60 people there. There was a bunch of girls there. Here I am, 17 years old. And I stayed upstairs in his sister's bedroom and listened to the whole album being played live on the radio instead of hanging out with all the people and partying, because I wanted to hear all the tracks before it came out.
Wow.
So Andrew, it's on the back.
Okay, so the CD thing is actually in my vehicle, but I've got all the insides here, so I'll have to run down and get it. But we'll do that on the 5150 deep dive, ranking the tracks with the Rev. Can't wait for that one, because there's going to be some good ones in there, and some nuggets, and we'll get schooled by the Rev.
Yeah. So that Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do had already been released as a single. So we knew that song, but I remember sitting in that bedroom with maybe one or two people, and everyone else was downstairs having a good time, drinking beer, smoking cigs, and I'm listening to Amsterdam, Can't Stop Loving You, The Seventh Seal. Like, I'm just flipping out, and then 3 days later I go out and buy the CD. But 17 years old, it was a pinnacle time in my life. And I remember going to prom, which is like a formal dance, and taking this CD with me in the car that I drove my date so I could listen to some of the slow jams to try to, up my chances of getting a kiss on the cheek.
Hey, Alan. Yeah, I was a little bit older when it came out, and I remember getting it too. I was going to my girlfriend's place at the time, and I think it was a Saturday, and I'd heard the single, as the Rev had pointed out, and it kind of blew me away, because it was just, again, one of those just phenomenal singles. And, being a Van Halen nut, and I remember driving to Chartwell Square, parking my car, running up to the record shop, buying the CD, and throwing it in and going, oh, because it was so different. Because you guys have got to remember this, and we spoke about this before on other shows. What was dominating popular music then? It was the G word. It was the G word. And it had a definite tone to it. You could pick up Soundgarden, you could pick up Stone Temple Pilots.
I thought you meant gangster rap. Sorry.
No. Pearl Jam.
Andrew would be more likely to say drive-by stuff.
Vitology had just come out, maybe the year before or something like that. And then obviously we're hearing this, and it was something familiar, yet just so different, wasn't it, Kurt? It was just something that, So again, I'm going to ask you guys this question. So we just spoke about the seriousness or the darkness of the album. What did the tone, hearing this guitar tone, did that freak you guys out from the start? Is that something that was that something separate from the album, or was that something that was packaged with the album, if you know what I mean? Rev?
For me, I think it was the band's way of catching people's attention. I think Brad and I are probably in the same boat, where the sound sounds huge and massive, and it sounds like four guitars, right? Or three guitars. I think they were, obviously Eddie was going away from that Marshall sound that all the other bands think about. We still had, my brain, it's late here, but what are some of the other rock bands that were still kind of, Skid Row, we're still kind of going, Ugly Kid Joe. So the old rock scene was just petering off, and I think Eddie wanted to separate himself from that sound. The JMC, the Marshall that everyone was using. He wanted to separate himself from that. So I think the wet, dry, wet mix with people call it over-processed. I think that was his way of just being different.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aerosmith.
Yeah. I mean, look at, you had bands like Guns N' Roses and everything with their very Marshall-driven tones. Aerosmith, there was a lot of bands around the time. I think Ed was still one of that. I mean, from my understanding, he wanted to be able to hear the guitar left and right, the signal like path, as opposed to pan to the left. He wanted to hear it throughout the whole mix, like a color all the way through the music. So, and we know that he likes pretty much keeping, his rhythm tracks down to like one rhythm, or not putting two different styles of rhythm on and stuff like that. So it was always a way for him to fill the sound with that eventide sort of spread, if that makes sense. But for me, Carnal Knowledge, you got the same sort of sound, but on this one, it was a bit more refined and very saturated with presence, like a lot of resonance and presence in there. It felt massive, and especially when he does like in Seven Seal, when he's doing like you can feel the resonance of the speakers just going like this. It's just unreal. A lot of bands weren't trying to capture that. They were obviously the very mid-range honk, mid-range push, and it was all about putting a little bit of rumble back in there as well. And I really liked that. That was great. I mean, the overall tones on the record for me, I mentioned it at the start of the show, I think, personally, I think it's the best drum sound they ever recorded. I think it's the best bass sound and the best guitar sound they recorded, without a doubt. But my preference, anyway.
Keith Campbell makes a good point about Aerosmith, and I've mentioned this briefly on this show, but Aerosmith is my other passion band. And I think one of their greatest albums, people may call me crazy or shun me, but Get a Grip, 1983. That was produced by Bruce Fairbairn. And they kind of set themselves apart from the G Word. And I think Eddie and Alex were looking for the same thing. So you got to think 93 Get a Grip came out, and then 95 Balance came out. And think about all those music videos that Aerosmith had on MTV. That was a huge album in 93, 94. And so Van Halen was just right after that. So they were trying to stay on that wave versus going down the G Word. And the other thing too, which we may get to tonight, but I think Van Halen was smart by pairing themselves up with some of that alternative music as opener with them when they went live with the Alice in Chains and the Collective Soul. Collective Soul is not really a grunge band, but instead of blocking it or shying away from it, they encouraged it and tried to get that unity by mixing the fans and promoting it, going with the grain instead of against the grain.
I think what they did with Collective Soul is they market them like alternative rock or alternative music here in New Zealand, which kind of, I think, deflated their popularity a little bit, guys, because, the point that you make is, they were clearly a rock and roll band. But I've got I interrupted Brad, but I got one other question that I want you guys to think about too. So you know how Eddie always ditched and dissed the sound that he had on Van Halen 1. Were you guys aware of any article or any interview where Eddie said that he wasn't happy with the tone on Balance?
I've never really heard that, no. I know he stepped away from it a bit with Van Halen 3. He stepped away a little bit from that tone. He brought it in on a couple of songs with the Eventide harmonized, but I know he went for more of a drier tone on Van Halen 3.
Yeah.
And obviously his tone on A Different Kind of Truth was a little bit different again. But I think there was maybe just his brain was maybe trying to go for a different thing altogether again. But I don't think he's ever dissed that sound. I don't think I ever heard him mention anything in any article about not liking that tone.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, he got the presence of that tone from Steve Lukather. And I think Bruce Fairburn may have just inflated it and made it a lot bigger. But I got a photo here I'll show you guys. This is Ross Childress of Collective Soul, their lead guitarist back then. Him and Eddie backstage.
I'll just present you, bro.
Yeah,
hey,
sorry,
Sonia.
It's on my phone, but there he is with the Ernieballmusicman. And then here's Ross, I think 2 years later, with a Balance t-shirt, and check out his amps in the back. Yep. Eddie sent him 2 Musicmans and 2 heads and 2 cabinets, and he used the 5150 heads and cabinets live and in the studio for like 3 years before he left the band. He's no longer with them anymore, but I thought that was a cool photo.
So if you guys go and check out the Rev's Instagram account, he's going to hashtag that 5150 show, so you guys can have a copy of those pics that he's just highlighted. Hashtag 5150 show, 5150 show. Remember that? Or Kurt S 5150, and you'll get those gems. Thank you, bro. I hadn't seen that photo for a long time, but the question that I asked both you guys, because obviously it was a lead question that I asked, because I couldn't find any criticism that Eddie made about those album tones either. So we must then assume that he was pretty happy with these records, guys. He was pretty happy with that.
Oh, yeah. If you read this magazine, he talks about how it's one of his favorite tones, and he talks it up. Same with the Guitar World that Brad talks about. I have it in this stack. I don't want to try to grab it, but he calls it the best ever. This is the best to date. Sound.
100%. Were you going to show some photos of his rig and stuff like that, Kurt? I think you had.
No, I thought maybe we would save that for when we do the rankings. I was going to show some photos of the live show that I went and saw.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to talk sound and rig, I think Brad has his guitar right there.
Yeah, okay, so Brad's going to do a tech and tone tech. We better show the video, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't get to show that a lot. But before we do, if you guys stumble across our video and you guys are Van Halen fans up to a point and period in history, go and check out the Vanhagar era of Van Halen songs and tones, because you're going to get a full picture of what Eddie wanted to achieve and did achieve, and he was really happy with that stuff. So hold on, bro. We always look forward to this. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure it's the right one.
Now it's time for Brad's Tech and Tone Tips. All right, guys. This is one of Andrew's favorites. I'm going to be utilizing. Sorry about that. I'm going to be utilizing the pitch box that Kurt kindly sent through to me. So I want to explain to you what I'm doing here. This is pretty much to get like that 7 seal sound. So obviously I've just got my Axis, which is a beautiful. Okay, so that's a beautiful guitar. It's got the Damasio's in it and everything like that. I've got my main Marshall head. This one here. I've got it pretty much high gained up, fairly gainy. It's a lot more gainy than I use for my own stuff. And so a dry tone. This is, hang on, let me just turn that off. That's dry. Okay, so there's no effects, no pedals on at all for that sound.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty much like that Marshall this guitar. So you can hear that it's got quite a bit of grunt to it. Right. So if I put the delay on and the pitch box. How's that sounding?
Ah,
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
For anyone that wants to know, I'm just using the -2 or -2 setting on the pitch box on the detune. That's the secret.
Yep.
That's it there. Kurt's got it. Right. And
detune, which is all the way down, and then -2. So there's even, and then -2.
Yeah. So that's to me. And I'll be honest with you, I actually went a little bit further and tried the -3, and it sounds pretty cool too.
Okay.
It's actually even a little bit more saturated for some reason. So I'll show you the example. But this is the sort of delay I picked for it.
There you go.
If you can hear that. I don't know if that's right. Now, my ears is very hard to hear exactly the delay. I mean, for me, it's pretty close. And if you put that effect on, so it's got that tone. But I don't know if you can hear the difference. Let me just see. I'll put it on -3. See what you guys think.
okay, brother.
So I kind of think between that -2 and -3 on that pitch box.
Big difference.
And I reckon the -3 might even be closer to balance.
There you go.
Big
Yeah.
difference.
The -2, Brad, might be more for unlawful carnal knowledge, but
that's my take on it.
yeah. And really what Eddie's doing here is, if you guys imagine 3 cabinets sitting together and you have one dry, one wet, and one wet. So it's wet, dry, wet. The wet signals are the ones that are getting the delay. So one delay is up, 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 up. The other delay is up, 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 up. So it sounds like you're bouncing a ball down a hallway and you're getting the echo. The dry is giving you the growly guitar, and then the detune is making one guitar signal sound like 2 guitar signals. So then when he's adding it to 3 different cabinets with the delay, really it sounds like 6 guitars. Truly.
It's amazing. And look,
all different signal, you know.
it's unreal. And that little pitch box is pretty cool for, you know, one guitar amp and just playing like that. It puts you in the ballpark.
Right.
Let's say that. Puts you in the ballpark. It's a bit of fun. Gives you that sort of carnal knowledge and balance sort of vibe. But if you do get that pitch box and you want to have it play around with some balance songs, try the -3. I reckon that puts you closer in the ballpark. I mean, if I'll turn
I'm glad you're messing with it.
Hey?
I'm glad you're tweaking with it, because I'll try. I think I've tried it, but I may not have had my delay right. But I want to try it with -3 to see how it sounds now.
Like I'll just sort of do like this is the -2, no delay. This is -3.
Wow.
Even wider again.
Yeah.
Wow.
No delay on it. So yeah,
I got to
reckon
agree with you, bro. That -3, I got to agree with you. I think that's nailing it a little bit closer, bro.
So yeah, the pitch box. Thanks, Kurt.
Yeah.
I've been locked down. I've been having lots of fun with that thing. It's unreal.
Good. I'm glad. That's why I got it for you.
Cobra's got one
jamming.
arriving Monday.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai, you won't be disappointed, brother.
Yeah, man. It's a wonderful gift. I can't thank you enough, Kurt. It's been great to just get reconnected with some of these Van Halen songs and it sound right. Because you can't play these songs without it properly. It just kind of doesn't feel right. Like this is no effect. This is just guitar. Even though it sounds great. Just it hasn't got the spread, you know what I mean? So
no, I want you, if you're still in lockdown a little bit, I want you to learn a little bit of the Can't Stop Loving You solo with the neck pickup.
Yep.
See how that sounds.
I'm gonna have a play around with a few songs, don't worry.
Also on this album, he brought back the Marshall in the studio, and he took a couple with him. He took a couple with him live. So I think he switched over to some Marshall cabinets live. I'll show you guys a photo.
And while you're doing that, bro, I've got a question that I want to ask you and Brad too. So you know how Eddie was obviously uniquely interested in finding something that suited his ear. This tone back in '95, to replicate anything like this tone would have costed any guy an arm and a fortune. Is that correct, Brad and Rev?
Oh yeah. Sorry. You see the two Marshalls there?
Yeah.
They're right next to the stack of 5150 Peaveys. So I reckon he switched over to Marshall on songs like Feelin', I think Big Fat Money, and there was another one that he used the Marshalls on. I think there's 3 songs. And so live, he actually took them with him and switched over live.
A Marshall with these guitars sounds fantastic. I mean, my Marshall's been souped up by Woz from Tone Revival, and I've got it pretty gained up, but it sounds tight. I think the pickups, the connection with the guitar, the woods, the pickups, everything just sounds fantastic. So anything on top of that, I think you could plug one of these guitars into like any amp and they're going to sound great. That's just my take on it. And
solid state crate.
and Ed's hands, man. Ed's hands. You know, he can make any guitar, anything sound good. But I think on Aftershock he recorded with a Marshall, didn't he?
Yeah, that was the other one.
So when did this tone start getting affordable for guys to kind of replicate? When they realised that there was a market, or was it just the technology of some of the instrument companies getting together going, look, we need to develop something that's going to get us into this market? You guys got any opinions on that?
Yeah, what's an Eventide rack unit cost?
An arm and a leg.
And Eddie, he had 2 of them, right, for each wet signal. Well, I don't want to say Rob Johnson was the pioneer for getting the balance in a box, but he did uncover the Boss PS6, which had the detune setting. And if you want to run that mono, 1 amp, 1 speaker sound, and you have that detune like the pitch box, he found that P6 harmonist and got the mono sound. When was that, Andrew? About 5 years ago?
5 years ago, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But now Eventide makes the pitch, or the red, I can't remember what it's called. Pete Thorne did a review on it.
Yeah,
that's an arm and a leg too.
Yeah. So Brad, if you ever come up with a chunk of money, that pedal, you could run stereo on your 2 heads and cabinets, and it would sound even bigger.
Well, just quietly, when the time comes and I can get up on a stage again and play 2 rigs, I'll definitely invest in one of those. It'll be a tax write-off.
Yeah, they're $350 in American. I'm not sure what that translates into Aussie.
900,
Yeah,
$900 here, bro. 900, couple of
they're
hundies short of
here
a
in
grand.
Australia.
But 2 stereo outs. That's the key.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
Steve Booth, our buddy on Instagram, who's usually on the show, which you'll probably be watching. He just bought one. If you guys have followed him on Instagram, he had trouble trying to find a setting. I found a setting for him.
I was talking to him about online about it, and I sent him off to that Pete Thorne demo, and he was pretty. I think he managed to find the settings that work. So yeah, there was that's a great resource. That Pete Thorne video is fantastic.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I'm wrapped up. Even just this pitch box, man. I mean, it does the job. You know, it's unbelievable. That's one head, one twin speaker box. I'm not using a quad box here. It's too big. So I'm only using a little twin speaker box in the corner here. And they get that tone. It's great. So
it's crazy. These mini pedals, I'll show you guys a couple that I have. I actually have a pedal board coming. So I'm going to throw them all on there.
Unboxing?
But no. All of my pedals are mini pedals. Like this is a digital delay that has a ton of settings on it. This thing's probably $50-$60. Unbelievable phaser sound out of this mini pedal. And then this is the latest and greatest. It's a plexi distortion pedal.
Wow.
Yeah. So really what I want to do is try to get, since I have my Peavey has the 6505 modeling amp on it, which is like the 5150. If I can get my pedal board set up, I can get the newer Eddie sound and then click over to the plexi sound and get the earlier stuff. And then if I want to run balance, I click over to this.
Beautiful, man. Hey, Simon, I'll take you up on that. And likewise, brother, you can use any of my gear that you need to as well. So, it's great to have another nerd Van Halen head here in Australia, which is fantastic. So yeah, you can use my gear anytime, man. Anytime. I'm looking forward to doing the Simon's got a gig coming up once it can be booked, playing a bunch of songs from Van Halen as a celebration at the Corner Hotel. And when he goes into a rehearsal room to hook up his wet dry wet signal, we're going to be going in there, and I'll be joining him as well as Boz from Tone Revival by the sounds of it. And we're going to be privileged to the first A chord that he plays.
Awesome.
And we won't tell you guys, but we're working on some bits and pieces in the background with Hoss as well. You know, he's part of the 5150 family. But if all goes well, we want to have Brad stream that live on the channel. So we're either going to stream it live, which obviously has to be our number one goal. If not, Brad will video and record it, and then we'll just upload it and do a premiere here. But if we can go live, it'll
be unreal.
So I see Cobra Kai has a pitch box coming. Jay Hannon bought a pitch box. He's been kind of tinkering with it. Andrew, would you have any interest in ever getting one?
I've got one on order. I ordered mine from Alibaba, or Alibaba, or Baba Ali, or so yeah. It's coming.
So you got one on order?
Yeah. I got one on order, so I'm going to run mine through when I get mine through my Marshall Blues Breaker, which get it close enough. It'll be close enough.
Yeah, I've ran mine through the THR10X too. It sounds good. Yeah.
No, they're fantastic. They do the job really, really well for, 1 amp without going wet, dry, wet, or wet, dry, whichever way you do it. They just give you a nice spread. Like I said, that tone that I was just playing before is only a twin speaker box here. It's not one of my cabinets, my 4x12s, because it'd just be too big in here. It'd just probably be too big. So
when we see your hair flowing forward, we know you got it too loud.
Yeah. I've just got a question. Just got a question that I want to ask Simon while he's in here, if he doesn't mind. So on our channel banner, Simon, it's got, if you go to it, it's got Brad's and Simon's and Kurt's Instagram accounts. Do you want us to put your Instagram account on there as well too, so we can permanently link you in? If you want to do that, mate, just say yes, and we'll do that. And we'll have all the social media accounts hooked up on the standard card that we're going to do for all the descriptions for all the 5150 shows from now on. So again, if you guys want to be part of that, message me, the Rev or Brad, and we'll get that done for you.
And everyone in the chat too, to kind of keep you guys interactive. How would you rate the Balance era sound compared to some of the other sounds? I know every album is different, but we can call it early Van Halen, mid Van Halen, and then Balance. Like, do you like it? Is it your least favorite? Is it your most favorite? Or what do you guys think? I know we still have some people in here. I'd be interested to see where you guys put that sound in as far as your favorites of the Van Halen tones, because there's so many. But for me, like, literally, it's up there, like either number one or number two. I really like the diverdown tone. It's probably my third favorite. 5150 and Forunlawfulcarnalknowledge they're somewhat similar, but I posted a video today on my page on Instagram of Eddie doing Best of Both Worlds during the OU812 era, and it is a very wet sound. If you notice, it's very processed.
Yeah. Look, it's for me, I think Balance will always be one of my favorite guitar tones. It's just that, it's just Simon's just using me to carry stuff. That's what John reckons.
Imagine being 17 years old and seeing it live, like literally when the show I went to, they started off with Right Now. That was the first song that came out on the show. And then they went into Big Fat Money. But I was literally just like, I had watched Livewithoutanet a million times. I'd watched Live Right Here, Right Now a million times. But when I saw it live and you could feel the sound, I was like, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. And why did it take me so long to experience this in person? Like, it was that life-changing. And I was telling Andrew, there's some talk about Eddie and Sammy not getting along during this tour, and people could feel the tension on stage. And absolutely, I would say there wasn't any tension. They were getting along great. And in fact, Sammy, I've seen him 4 times. That was the best performance I've ever seen Sammy Hagar, was that show that I went to. He stole the show.
Wow.
He stole the show. Eddie was experiencing some hip issues, so he wasn't really running around much. So he was somewhat immobile, and he did a great job on the guitar. I don't think there was any mistakes. I rewatched some of the stuff that was on YouTube today, but Sammy Hagar really shined in that show, and it was over. The show I went to, it was like 2 hours and 15 minutes long. It was an incredible show. Yeah.
We're extremely jealous. I know Andrew, I can speak for Andrew. We're extremely jealous of you, Kurt, having the opportunity to go and see that tour. So,
And while you guys are talking, Andrew, I'd like to show a couple pictures of the venue and some of the show.
Cool.
All right. Can you see anything?
No.
not yet.
You got to flick it. You got to flick it to me.
Now?
Yeah.
So that's the venue. This is in the middle of nowhere, people, in a city called George Washington, like the president. And it's along the Columbia River, which is a huge river that runs through from Canada down through Washington and goes out the ocean. But you can see the stage there. It's an amphitheater. The sun sets usually right when the main act starts. So usually it's right at dusk. And I think I have a couple photos. So that's not actually the Van Halen show. This is just like a random picture from the internet. But I really wanted to show you guys this venue. So here's a picture from the show. Eddie was playing his Flametop Music Man. He didn't play his main one during the show I went to. He played the Flametop that had the 5150 stickers on it. He played this the whole show. He switched over to his prototype Peavey for like 2 songs and then switched back to this guitar. So he played this guitar pretty much the whole show. He wore that pink shirt with the cutoff sleeves and the maroon headband. Here's another picture of the venue. I mean, what would you guys go see a show here?
Oh yeah,
dude, it's just
magical.
It's insane.
Oh,
Magical. Yeah.
There's another one of Eddie sweating. He had the jeans with the holes in them. I mean, look at that. You see the river and the mountains, and look at all the people.
Wow.
So if you see the blue tent down towards the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
you guys see that? And then there's the path that goes down, and then there's another path that kind of loops around. I was just past the tent where the other path goes. So that's where my seats were. I was right there.
Wow.
Let's see. There's another picture. This is a country concert, but check out the landscape behind it.
Oh, it's magical.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and the sound is just phenomenal.
Wow.
There's another picture of the venue. This is actually of the show. If you guys didn't see the Balance Era, they had a huge television screen behind them. And as you guys know, if you don't have the greatest seats, you can watch the band up on the big screen. During Amsterdam, Mine Oh Mine, Eagles Fly, and Dreams, they played some sort of video behind the screen when they were playing. Other than that, if there wasn't a video, they were showing there was a cameraman that was filming the band during the song. And these are photos of a YouTube video of the show I went to. But you can see like Michealanthony's stage rig on the left, and then you can see Eddie's Peaveys on the right. There's another cool photo. This is the parking for the venue where people camp, and then you can see the actual stage to the left. So that's another one of the venue. That's a cool picture. There's Eddie with his Ernie ball, and I think I may have missed one more. Give me a second here. Yeah, there's the Peavey that he played. And actually, guys, when he picked up that guitar, I think Sammy said, "Hey, Eddie's trying out a new guitar tonight, so bear with him." But I think he had tried it out throughout the whole summer tour, but he used it on let me get this right. I'm just checking my notes. When he had to drop down to half a step down, he used it on You Really Got Me, Jump, and then went back to his Ernie Ball for One Way to Rock.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he used it for 2 songs, and that was it. So, yeah, that's some pictures from the show.
Awesome, man.
On Encore, they finished the show with Dreams, and then they went off stage, and everyone was chanting, Eddie, Eddie. Everyone was chanting Eddie. They weren't chanting the band. And the encore was Pound Cake. And on the big screen, all you could see was Eddie's guitar and the drill. They played Pound Cake and then finished the show with Panama. But I think they played 1, 2, 3.
Okay, bros, I'm going to just split, and I'm going to leave you guys
Go ahead.
with the show.
We'll close her up.
And I'll catch you guys later. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thanks, Andrew.
Brad, I'll talk to you. Rev, thank you for the gifts. Talk to you guys soon.
All right. Bye-bye. I know what I was saying, Brad, is I think Sammy did 4 David Lee Roth era songs during that tour, which typically they only did 1 or 2. During You Really Got Me, Sammy was climbing all over the scaffolding up above the video screen, just going crazy, making the crowd sing, and it was just, I was mesmerized, especially at that age. But
well, man, we weren't privileged to them coming out at all here in Australia around that era, so we were kind of, and we didn't have what we have now. Social media wasn't a big thing, so it was, any little snippets of footage we saw was always like through one of the shows or MTV or something like that, and we didn't really get a lot of stuff. The first thing I really saw of them playing live was Not Enough on Letterman.
Oh, okay.
And that was like a massive thing for me. But he was playing the Peavey in that one. But interestingly, though, like this week, me learning, sitting around learning Seventh Seal, I noticed that a couple of the live versions that I was watching were half a step down.
Oh, really?
From Balance Tour, yeah. And I couldn't work out, whether it was the start of the tour or the end of the tour or what. But obviously, I'm sitting there trying to work it out from the live recordings of what Ed was actually playing live.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bit hard to do because I've got this tuned standard. So I had to get my Les Paul, which is half a step down, and instead of retuning it, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Right.
But, interesting. I noticed that whether there was a vocal issue or what, for whatever reason, they were tuning half a step down there at one point. But there is live footage of them playing in standard as well. So I'd have to check the dates to check again from the actual concert, whether it was the start of the tour or the end of the tour. But maybe, the second leg, they potentially tuned everything half a step down. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'll flick you. There's 3 videos of the show I went to, and it was in September. So it was towards the tail end. It was actually, that tour was a long tour for them because they started in March and they went all the way through the beginning of the year, because they went to Japan and then they went in Europe with Bon Jovi. But I was listening to Feelin' at the end where he screams, and Sammy nailed that live, believe it or not. It was amazing.
Yeah. Awesome.
Some of the songs that they did that were like highlights for me was Eagles Fly. Sammy did an unbelievable job with his acoustic electric during that show. Feeling was awesome. Mine Oh Mine was awesome. They had the huge screen behind them. They had like a surfing montage with a bunch of surfing guys doing some crazy, like I don't say they were wipeouts, but they were just,
It was like a pipeline thing or so. I've seen some of the footage of that. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, but Mine Oh Mine was incredible live, and as you know, that's one of my favorite songs, and the solo on that song is just awesome. But yeah, they did some good ones for sure.
Yeah, I love OU812. Just quietly, I think needs a remaster job, and then I could probably get into a little bit more. But I love the songs on it, but the sounds on the record I don't gravitate to that record to put on for that reason, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I remember you saying a lot of alien-esque type solos Eddie had on that record.
Yeah, it was phenomenal, that record. That record in particular took me a while, obviously, to get into. I love the songs. I love the playing on it and stuff. I love the guitar tone as well, but just kind of felt like everything was not. I just reckon it would do with a really nice remaster job. Just get everything where it should be in the mix,
Well, that was their first album that the band didn't have a real producer. I know Don Landy is a hell of an engineer, and Eddie as well. So I think they both co-produced that. But I think a lot of the big bands always experience that one pass that the record label will give them. Okay, we'll let you guys do this one. I think that OU812 was that album. Yeah. They let them do it without a producer.
Yeah. Hey, have you got your chat up there, Kurt? We'll see what's going on in the chat. Maybe highlight a few things here. So,
Amanda Coombs, she's in here. Thanks, Amanda. Keith Campbell says Sammy nailed it every time I heard him. Keith, how many times did you see Van Halen live with Sammy? I know you've been to a few shows, but I would love to hear that.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying hi. It looks like James S5150's in here. He actually lives like 30 minutes from me here in Washington. So thanks, James, for joining.
Yeah.
We haven't run into each other. But Simon Hosford, if you're still in here, I know you're doing a lot of early Van Halen stuff. What's your, and you can put it in the chat if you'd like, what's your opinion of the Sammy era of Van Halen? And I don't know, Brad, if you know that answer.
I've been speaking to him a little bit about it. So, yeah, he's welcome to express his feelings in the chat there. But, yeah, we were talking about some songs of balance. And, yeah, I think we both agreed on the ones that we thought were pretty outstanding.
Is he pretty excited to get his new guitar?
Hey? Yeah, he's got his new guitar.
Yeah, he's got that 5150 coming, which is going to be awesome for him.
Yeah, I think he'll have it for his next show, which will be, whenever that may be. Hopefully it's sooner than later. But it's great that you guys have got concerts going at the moment. I mean, it's a bit, sometimes for me it's overwhelming because I'm thinking, just want to go to a concert and play, but it'd be great to go and watch bands at the moment. Obviously we're a little bit way off that, but good on you, man, for getting out and supporting live acts. Because I think on the other side of all this mess and stuff that's going on in the world, I won't mention it too much, but I think it's important to go out and support bands and, get out there and watch bands. And, part of that, like guys like Simon Hosford, like getting out there and playing, I really want to get on board and support that. I think it's great.
Yeah, and as you know, for me, it's a huge part of my life, and I haven't seen a live show in almost 2 years, so
yeah,
I'm really itching to get out. And my girls, they went to a big country music festival here like 3 weeks ago, So I think they've been to a couple concerts since all this world craziness has happened, but it's obviously trickled down into the DNA because they love going to concerts regardless of what type of genre it is, which obviously, comes from me. But yeah, I'm excited to just have the house lights come down and hear the first chord or drums kick in, and you just get that feeling of, I can't wait to see what's next,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out and seeing some bands and actually playing again. We had a short little window there where we were able to get out and play, and I had a couple of gigs. I had to learn how to play standing up again, which was, because I'm used to sitting down like this playing, So you actually get out.
Different muscle memory.
It's kind of like a bit weird, and I took a lot of that for granted because I actually used to just, play, very comfortably standing up. And then when I was playing, we do jump, we do beat it, we do Panama, we do a couple of more intricate things, and found it a bit more difficult standing up playing it because I'm so used to sitting here playing, So
Right.
Looking forward to getting back out and playing, definitely. But,
so Simon says Sammy's a legend, and he says his favorite album for the Sammy era is 5150. So good for you, Simon. That's my favorite album as well. And he says, I love some of the songs, of course, like Pound Cake, Judgment Day, Rocks My World. When It's Love is a beautiful track. Chris Hunter in the chat says, I have an EH pitchfork. Can you give me some of the advice on how to set it like a balance tone? Thank you. Missed that for a bit. So I'm not sure about the EH pitchfork, but if anything, the settings, if they're similar to the pitch box or the PS6 harmonist, if your pitchfork has a detune setting, you want to set it to detune, and then -2 or -3 cents, whichever one kind of tickles your ear as far as what you're looking for. So detune setting, -3 or -2 cents.
I'm just having a look at that particular.
Oh, you're looking it up. Okay. I saw him mention it earlier in the chat, and I wasn't sure. I'd never heard of it, so I didn't know. But there's a couple other companies that make a harmonist pedal or a pitch shift pedal. As long as it has the detune, you can get the close to the sound we're looking for.
You should be able to get in the ballpark with this pedal for sure. It's got a transpose your pitch up or down, plus or minus 3 negative octave range, and detune.
There you go.
Plus 99 cents to negative 99 cents. So you should be able to get in the ballpark. Yep. It's a detune that Ed used, and I'm not sure if it's similar with. Actually, you should probably do a bit of a YouTube search on that, trying to see if there's anything. I'm sure someone has put something up on that, but I'll have a look at that later. I won't do it while we're on here.
But yeah, Chris, thank you, Brad. Detune, -2 or -3 cents, and I'm not sure what that even means. Cents.
Yeah, well, if you watch the Peter Thorne thing on the Eventide one, he talks about that as well. So that's probably even a good starting point. If you can't find anything about that, look at the Pete Thorne. He's very good at all that stuff. Bit of a shouts out to Pete Thorne there, and he's a bit of a legend. So he knows what he's talking about, man.
Yeah, I actually did a little bit of deep dive on some of Pete Thorne's stuff. He's been up to more than really I thought he was. I didn't realize he did a little bit of producing and some other stuff as well outside of playing guitar for a handful of people.
Yeah, no, he's been proactive. He's had a pretty amazing career, really, as the side guy. He's unreal, but his channel is unreal as well. I find whenever he does any deep dives on, anything Van Halen related, he's right in there, man. He's got it down. But obviously he had a relationship with Ed, which, that would have been pretty special for him,
Yeah. So Simon says he can't wait to receive his Neil Daly 5150. Such an honor that he's building it. He's seen photos. I've seen photos as well. We won't show them on here because we want it to be a surprise. But one cool thing, Simon, that you're going to experience is Neil put a big brass block in that thing. And I'm a firm believer that if you get that Floyd Rose flat on the body with a brass block, it's hard to beat. Your Music Man has a stock brass block in it, Brad, which is, there's not a lot of guitar companies that do that.
To be honest with you, like I'm, other than finally working on this detuner, which I'm kind of getting my head around now, and I think a lot of it comes down to me, my knowledge of how to fix these. But yeah. I'm going to be spending a bit of time tomorrow on this guitar. But the actual tones of this thing are unbelievable. I don't really want to muck around with it. I'm quite happy. I love it's not a massive brass block, but it's I don't know if that's stock or what, but that's however
stock, but it's brass. Most of them are pop metal, so.
And this guitar, when I purchased it, all I've done is reverse that, but everything else is exactly how it was, and there's no fret wear. Beautiful. So,
you know what, the combination of the basswood body with the maple cap, the pickups being screwed right into the body, the Floyd up against the body, the brass block, and then the 5 bolts on the neck, I think are the main levers on tone.
Do you have there was something I saw with the FU tone thing with where you screw that piece into the body?
Yeah,
there.
the trem stopper.
Does it transform more tone, do you think, or is it just it does?
It does. So when your strings are strung through your Floyd, you get that resonance.
Yep.
But it ends at the end of your brass block where you have all those holes, and that trem stopper is just barely touching your brass block, and it's keeping it from floating. Right now it's going up, but it's not going down. That trem stopper touches the brass block, and it is bolted to the body of your guitar, and it's supposed to add more connectivity. If you hear some of Adam Revert's videos, and now we're really getting geeky, but he talks about links in the chain, and that's your nut, your strings, your bridge, your claw, your springs, all that stuff is all in that tone chain. And the more you dive into the links of the chain, where that trem stopper will help give more resonance, because that brass block is vibrating. If you hit a chord and stick your ear up to that brass block, you can hear it ring out through the back. But if you're barely touching it with another piece of brass that's bolted to the body, you're getting that full loop. So it's an easy $10 fix that you can. I have one on mine, and I also have one on my black and white eruption guitar.
Yep.
So I have 2 of them. I got to AV it and see if the resonance is better. And I talked a little bit about this on Rob Johnson's show, but you have one of these snark tuners?
No.
So basically it picks up vibration, and that's how it picks up your tone. And what I would do is I would set the timer on my phone, strum a chord, and see how long this tuner picks up that vibration on your guitar and time it. So like say you hit the E string, let it ring out, and it rings out for 13 seconds. Then you put your brass block in, or your saddle screws, or your saddle inserts.
Yep.
Put it back in, hit the E string again and time it, and it's like 16 seconds instead of 13 seconds. So it just rings out longer. So it's kind of a cool way of just getting your guitar to vibrate more, really.
I might look into it eventually, but for now I'm pretty happy. Like, I must admit that the guitars are, if anyone's in the market to buy like an Ernie Ball EVH and you can't get one, or price wise you can't afford one, this is in my opinion, the next best thing. Phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what I got. They're amazing. I actually think they improved the EVH. There's some improvements, which we talked about on earlier shows.
Yeah. Just having a look here in the chat. So Simon has said, the Pariah Pasadena Black. Yep. Yeah.
I've actually looked into that Cobra Kai. I think Simon's getting that in his 5150. Right now I have a Seymour Duncan JB. And Brad, if you remember when we did that DiMarzio article, the JB and the 5150 was broken, and it was a little bit higher off the charts. I don't know. I've thought about kicking around the idea of getting a Pasadena Black for my 5150 because even Pete Thorne said it's a damn good pickup.
Yeah,
and they're only $100. So,
and I think it was something to do with the Alnico 2s. There's just something about that tone of Alnico 2 pickups. But I've had this discussion with Simon on the phone, and Cobra Kai, I think you're going to get a wonderful little message from Simon there, mate. I think we've been privileged to it. So, yeah, it's fantastic. I won't say too much at this point, but it's good to watch that Pete Thorne deep dive on all the pickups. It's great. And if you can actually sit through it all, you start to get a bit, mishmashy, sort of. It all starts to sound a bit similar. But if you go away from it and you pick out 2 or 3 that you really like, and then you go back and watch them like an hour or 2 later or the next day, and you listen again with fresher ears, you can really hear the pickups that you like, the differences in them. Like you just mark, like, say it's like, this particular pickup, this one, you might pick 3 that you find are your favorites, and you go back and have a listen to it. So that's, for me, that's how I did it, because that was a deep dive, man. That would have taken so much work.
I watched all of it too. But Simon, thank you. Chris Hunter, thank you for joining. Brad, this is actually Chris Hunter's first time ever catching one of our shows live.
Welcome, Chris.
Yeah, thank you. And I hope Brad and I's quick 3-second settings on your pitchfork helped you. If you go back on our channel, so you click on British Electric Blues 5150 show, go to videos, and every other Friday we do a Van Halen based show, and we've gone everywhere from ranking all the albums to certain topics. Brad and Andrew will do a midweek show where they'll pick a topic, but there's a ton of extra information on this channel that I would love for you to go back and check out, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're actually going to do a drawing for a t-shirt, and I think I might be doing a drawing for a pedal here in the next month. So make sure you subscribe so you can qualify for the drawing. But yeah, thank you for anyone who hasn't checked out the show. I think Fisting Champion, he looks like he's new. Mike A's joined us. We've had quite a few people jump on. So,
and anyone that checks us out live, or if you jump on and you've never discovered our channel, say hello to us so we know who you are. It's always, Robot Master Switch. He's the winner of the last t-shirt contest, so he can vouch for us that we actually do it.
Yep.
So
and we're just a couple regular chaps, just like the rest of you guys in the chat. We have the same passion that you guys do. We're just opening up this platform to give our opinions, let you know kind of what we know. And if you haven't checked out Brad Cook Music, Brad's an actual musician. He's got an album out. He does some live stuff in Australia when he's able to. So yeah, we're just a couple guys that like to share our passion, love guitars, we love music, and we thank you all for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah, we're just geeks. That's what we're doing here. We're geeking out. That's what it is. Chris Hunter, yeah, it's a Musicmanaxis. It's the Axis.
Yeah, and earlier I was showing my evhwolfgang, which is pretty much the same guitar that Brad has there, but his has a quilt top. A few other, I think the pickups on his are a little bit different, but his is the daddy of this. This is like the kid or the cousin of his guitar. And Robot Master Switch, I'm glad you're in here. He has a silver one of these, and he inspired me to get one. And I love this thing, and the neck on it, and Robot, you can agree with me, is incredible. That baked maple, Brad, I don't know if you've ever touched a baked maple guitar.
Oh, I have, on a Strat, yeah.
It's unlike anything I've ever played. I like want to wash my hands every time before I play it because I don't want to like scratch it or damage it. And did I tell you Jay Hannon is hooking me up with a bridge?
Yeah, I think you mentioned it. I think you did. Yeah.
He has. So this is a Floyd Rose Special, which is made in Korea. Some of the people think that tonal wise, the metal isn't as thick and they're not built as well. He actually has a German-made Black Floyd that it actually gets here Saturday. So
nice.
I'm excited to get that Floyd. I'm going to put the D-tune and the brass block on that Floyd, and it'll really improve the quality of this thing. So I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Here's a question for you, because you've got an Axis. How do you compare the necks?
Thinner. This is thinner.
Yep.
I don't know if you can see that. I like the round baseball batty feeling of the Axis up here.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. I would say the Axis is smoother, and this thing is more natural feeling.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't play live, so I think the true test is to play 5 or 6 songs in a row on stage where you're actually really working it and your hands are sweating and cramping up to really get the feeling of it. But I would say the Axis neck's better. This feels great, but as far as the physical aesthetics of the Axis, I like the Axis better. It just feels. It has that worn-in feeling, where this feels like the hood of a Ferrari. It's just really smooth and glassy.
I have to say, I absolutely love the neck on this guitar. I just love it, and that's the best part of it for me. The neck on a guitar is so important. For me, the neck on these things are phenomenal. And I was curious because of the Wolfgangs. Obviously, I have tried the Wolfgangs in guitar shops. I've got a friend who's got one as well, so I have tried them in the past, but I can't remember. You know what I mean? It's been a while. So, and looking at the range that's coming out lately, I'm sort of going maybe at some point.
Yeah. I got a deal I couldn't pass up on this one, but and you. I guess your typical guitar is the Les Paul, which is painted and more of a. Are yours C shape or yours D shape?
I got slim taper 60s necks on my 2-stage Les Pauls, and I did my first gig with this guitar earlier this year, and tonal wise. Very much in the ballpark of the Les Paul. So going from a Les Paul to this, and then back to a Les Paul, then this, and throughout the gig, there wasn't a lot of difference in tonality in the sense of no major EQing differences or anything like that needed to be done. So actually the pickups in the Les Pauls I got are the John Suhr Doug Aldridge ones, which are a fairly high output, and but they're vintage tone wise, like they're not a very sizzly type pickup. They're really nice, and they clean up well when you roll the volume off. They clean up beautifully. So not saying that they sounded identical, not at all, but they were in the ballpark, and that's what I like about live performing. There's no point having two different similar. It's good to have different sounding guitars, but if they're way contrasting, it just causes you a lot of problems with EQing and things like that on stage, because you sound check with one guitar, for example, and you want them to all be in that same ballpark. If, like, I'll put it to you this way, I've got a Strat and a Les Paul that I use when I play blues and that in blues bands or anything blues orientated. They're in the ballpark, but then I've got another Strat that when I play it with the Les Paul, it's too thin and wiry sounding compared to the Les Paul. What I'm saying is, if they're in the ballpark, it's always a good thing. And they're single coil with a humbucker. But this against the Les Paul was a really nice contrast. Obviously, it sounded like a music band, but it didn't sound like a Les Paul, but it's in that ballpark.
Yeah. Keith Campbell said, isn't the ErnieBallmusicman neck based off the Kramer 5150 neck? Yes, they actually took I think the machine was a Faro Axis is what it's called. And people say that they had the Axis name before Eddie did that guitar, but I'm wondering if they used the name Axis because of the machine they used to get the neck. But they actually have a digital laser reading that picks up all the different variations of the neck contour digitally, and that's how they got the reading off the 5150 to make the CNC finish on the Musicman. So Musicman neck on what you have and what the EVH is an exact digital reading of the 5150 neck. And as we all know, the 5150 neck wasn't just the neck off the rack. It was one that Paul Unkert actually hand sanded and shaped. And then Eddie played it for 6 years before they got the reading off it. So he had the hand worn as well. So it's like the best of both worlds, no pun intended. We're really getting geeky now.
Yeah, well, this is the stuff I enjoy. But how late is it there for you, Kurt? I'm happy to wrap it up whenever you are. I've just got a message in through. So
yeah, it's 10:10 here. So I'll say quickly bye to everyone in the chat. I know Teresa, she's got to go. So Teresa, thanks for joining. Amanda Coombs, all the way from Canada. Amanda, thanks for jumping in, saying hi. Appreciate you. Of course, Simon Hosford. Looks like Johnny Bean, all the way from Santa Cruz. Just jumped back in. He was in Walnut Creek earlier today, it sounds like. John ZD 351. He's been in the chat the last few shows, so he's also a fairly new viewer. So John, thanks for coming back, and hope you've subscribed, and we can keep the content going to keep you coming back. Helen Winter, thank you. Sonia, of course, Keith Campbell, who's been really active in the chat. Thanks, Keith. Mark Tanner, and then my buddy Robot Master Switch. Cobra Kai Platoon, if you're still in here, thank you, sir. Chris Hunter, and I think that's about it. But yeah, thanks for jumping on. This is actually kind of nice. I like doing these shows where there's no, I don't want to say preparation, but Brad and I just really don't jump on these shows without doing some research or putting our thoughts on paper. And these midweek shows are kind of nice to be able to just come on and shoot the breeze and give our opinion or whatever's at the top of our mind versus having 2 or 3 pages of notes that we've prepared or have an album that you have to listen to a couple times and not just listen to it in the background. You really truly got to listen to it and put pen to paper. So these are nice. So thanks for doing this, Brad.
No, it's I always enjoy these, these midweek ones where there's, like you said, we always put tons and tons of effort into the other shows, and these loose midweek ones are awesome. We just, as Keith Campbell, I just saw a message come up there, just winging it. There's not really a lot of preparation for these ones. It's great. It's good fun. Thanks to everyone.
People's in here too as well. He just jumped in.
Yeah, how are you? He's the cheeky one.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone who's jumped in and joined us. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Please subscribe. We're trying to grow our channel. And like Kurt said before, we're going to have a t-shirt giveaway once we get to 1,000. So once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to actually give away a few t-shirts, and it's going to be really cool to get to 1,000 subscribers. It's really good for the channel. And Kurt and Andrew, I don't know about myself, but Kurt and Andrew work very hard on this. So I'm just along for the ride, mate. I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah. And Simon Hosford, if you're still in here, jump on one of these midweek shows with us too if you just want to shoot the breeze as well. I've had multiple people message me and said that you fit right in with the group, and I think we had a good time a couple weeks ago. So if you ever want to jump in and say hi or add your 2 cents, we would love to have you in again.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's the thing, man. We're a family here, and Simon's part of the family now. So like Andrew's alluded to in the past, once you come, you can never leave. Once you join, you never leave. So you can check out any time you like, but you can never leave.
That's been used before. I think I've heard it before. All right, Brad.
Simon, definitely, mate. I'll talk to you through the week as well. I know we were going to catch up, but it's obviously with all the stuff that's happening in the world, we won't mention it because we're trying to stay positive on this show. But it'd be great to catch up. I'll give you a buzz in the next day or two or whatever, and we'll have a chat. Hope you're doing well, Simon, and I hope you can reschedule your corner show at some point in the near future. And I'm just messaging Andrew to let him know that we're ready to wrap up because he needs to come and close the show for us.
Yeah, I'll have to say in closing, everyone stay safe out there. We're keeping positive vibes that things will eventually get back to normal, but this is always a great way to get outside reality and just daydream and talk about everything guitars and music and not have to worry about reality. Kind of a good breakaway. But thanks for joining, and keep coming back for sure. Yeah, thank you, dudes.
Just Andrew's not responding. We could be here for a lot longer.
So if we leave the studio, the stream will stay open, correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
And Ringus Pinkle says, wear a condom. That's always important.
Okay. We're a family show.
I'll text Andrew.
Yeah. I've just I sent him a message there in Instagram, but he's not responding. So but yeah. Balance.
Yeah, we'll redo the balanced rankings. How long ago was that when you guys did it?
It feels like about 6 months, maybe. I think 5-6 months ago. And it's funny because we do the ranking shows, and then when I listen to them again, I start to gravitate to other tracks. So here's a question for everyone in the chat. How would they like us to go and re-rank all the tracks every 12 months?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Re-rank all the tracks.
I joined the show. So this show they did, they ranked all the tracks backwards. So they started off with Different Kind of Truth, then did Van Halen 3, and then Balance. And I started, my first show was for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. So I missed the first 3 shows. So I think Brad and Andrew want to have me redo Balance since we all like it so much. But they're considering maybe over the next year redoing some of the other albums after we get done with Live Right Here Right Now. And I think we're going to try to maybe rank the video, the Van Halen Best of Both Worlds video DVD. There's also some books we were thinking about ranking, the Sammy Hagar book or maybe the Noel Monk book. So we have some things in the works. We got CJ from the Van Halen Encyclopedia. He's going to try to jump on and do a show with us. So we have a few things in the works. We don't want to give it away until it's official, but yeah.
Yep. We've got some good stuff coming up, actually. And obviously the stuff with Simon Hosford, with Fair Warning. So that's going to be good. I've got to keep a bit of that under wraps at the moment, but we've got some cool stuff planned for that. And I think re-ranking the tracks would be a fun one to do. Maybe we could make it more interactive this time, get people, give people in the chat the regulars homework and they can join in the rankings.
Right.
That would be pretty cool. But I'll just message Andrew again.
Yeah, he said 4 minutes and he'll be on. So we'll just stall a little bit. Have you changed the strings on that Ernie ball since you got it?
Yeah, I have. I've changed them over, and I'm probably going to spend a bit of time online just mucking around. I might just go do an Instagram live and mess around with.
I want to try to be on there when you do that, so I can walk you through some of it.
Well, if we can coordinate it so it's a time zone thing that suits you, because I'm pretty much always available. So what I might do is I'll do an Instagram live. Maybe we could just do it, together, and I'll announce it. So here's a good opportunity for everyone to get an inside scoop on the D-Tune. So Kurt and I will do an Instagram live. We'll advertise it, and you guys can join us in the chat.
Yeah, I have one here that I want to install on this guitar that I'm holding. So I think it'd be cool to do them both at the same time. Install mine and then adjust yours.
Bros.
That would be cool.
Sorry for letting you guys fly solo, but I just wanted to show you this, bro. Those are those pics that you did for me.
Oh, you put them on?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry, I had to go and do some things, guys. So I appreciate you guys looking after the show. Do you guys want to wrap up, or do you want to go for another 3 hours?
We're done.
Okay,
we're done.
Awesome. I'm going to talk to you guys later. I look forward to catching up with you, bros, for the 5150 show. Brad and I are on in 2 days' time with Simon the Rock Professor to talk about a Who album. That's going to be interesting. What else is happening, guys?
Look, we're just saying that through the week we're going to do an Instagram live, and we're going to muck around with the D-Tunes. So whether you want to jump on as well, Andrew, that's fine. It might be fun, and we'll just muck around and get mine working. And Kurt's got his to put on. You've already done yours, but you're welcome to join in. You might be able to help us if you've done it. So.
Mate, if I can do it, you guys can. You guys
are
awesome.
I'm a nuffhead, so we'll see how we go. But what we'll do is we'll announce it in our stories on Instagram. So our Instagram stories. So you have to go and look at our page. Give us a follow while you're there, and check out our Instagram stories. And we'll announce when we're going to do. We'll do a little bit of a countdown for you guys in our stories, and you can jump into the chat and join us. That'll be a bit of fun.
Awesome. 31 people watching. Thank you, guys. Please share our channel. Like, share, subscribe. We're out of here. All the best, the Rev. All the best, Brad. You guys are cool.
Pasadena,